Hello and welcome to Thursday's, I almost forgot what day it was, Thursday's maths lesson. So we are carrying on with what we did yesterday with dividing fractions by whole numbers. But yesterday we just practiced some basic calculation questions. Today we're going to look at them in a bit more detail, a bit more worded questions, some problem solving and things like that. So to get us started, there is a starter question on the screen. To match each calculation to the correct answer represented in a picture. So you're going to have to work out the answer to these sums to work it out, and you may, I say may, you will have to work out an equivalent fraction. So you might have to simplify it down, your answer, to match one of the pictures. So remember the strategy from yesterday. So you times the denominator by the whole number, you keep the numerator the same. So pause the video and have a go at working that out. Okay, so first off, we have got 9/12 divided by 3. Now if I keep 9 the same, I'm back on the numbers, and I do 12 times 3, we get 36. Now, nowhere can I see a picture that shows me 9 out of 36. So I know that I'm going to have to simplify that down. I'm going to have to find common factors. I'm going to have to divide them because that's how we simplify a fraction. Now, I know that 9/36 is the same as 1/4. Okay? So if I do my factor bugs, I work out the factors, simplify it down, it gets me to 1/4. And I can see that this red symbol, we've got 1 lot of 3, 2 lot of 3, 3 lots of 3, 4 lots of 3. So we've split it into quarters. So I know that A matches my red one. Then I've got B, 4/5 divided by 2. So I keep my 4 the same. I do 5 times 2, which gives me 4/10. Now again, I can't see anything that is out of 10 with 4 shaded, so I need to simplify it down. So I would get 2/5, which I can see is this one up here because I've got 2 shaded and I've got 5 squares, which means by a process of elimination, C must be showing the blue one. Okay, so give yourself a mark if you got those right, and well done. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some worded problems first of all, which is really easy. We're still doing the same technique, the same skill we learnt yesterday, but we need to pick out the key numbers from the question. So Steph has 6/10 of her birthday cake left. Easy. 6/10 is what we're working with because that's all she's got left. She wants to share it, so we're sharing it. So I know we're definitely dividing. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky. She wants to share it between herself and 2 friends, not just 2 friends. So if you were scanning looking for numbers, you'd find 2, but it's 2 friends and herself. So I have worked out that for that sum, it's asking me to do 6/10 divided by 3 because it's asking me which fraction of the cake does each child get. So I know to do the method, I keep my 6 the same on the top. And I do 10 times 3 to get the bottom, to get the denominator. Now, 6/30 absolutely fine. Okay? If you think you can simplify it and try and get it down, you can. I'm not saying you can simplify it. Maybe I'm tricking you. Maybe it can't be simplified. Who knows? But with any of the questions today, if you want to leave it as that answer or simplify it, have a go at doing both, okay? But if you really don't understand simplifying, just leave it as the normal answer. But do give it a try to simplify if you can. Okay, again, so we've got 3/4 of a kilogram of rice. So I'm working with 3 quarters. Is divided, so it actually tells me I'm dividing. It's helpful. Divided equally between 2 bowls. Super, easy peasy. How much rice is in each bowl? So 3, I keep the same. And then I do 4 times 2, which gives me 3/8. Okay, so 3/8 of the rice is in each bowl. Hopefully you managed to get that one, or you knew the method, because it's quite easy as long as we get it and we know it. Now, you might come across something like this as well, which is exactly the same, but you just need to think about it in a different way. Now, we know the method. We keep the top the same, the numerator the same. We times the denominator by the whole number. We know that method, and we're going to use that method to work out these answers. So, what I want you to do is pause the video and just have a look at the first one. Have a go if you think you know how to work it out. And if you're completely stuck, then play the video and come back for the answer. But have a go and see if you can work it out first of all. Okay, what I'm going to do, I've been given the answer and the whole number. So I'm going to work backwards to work out the first one. So I know that with a fraction, you just keep the top the same. So I know the top of this fraction is going to be 7. Okay, because I know from my method, 7 goes on the top there. Now I need to work out what the bottom, the denominator of my fraction is. And I know that if I times this number by 4, I'll get this number. So I need to go backwards and do it the opposite way. So I need to do 36. And I need to divide 36 by 4 to work out, because I'm going backwards, so I'm doing the inverse. So I'm going to do, instead of doing 4 times 36, I'm going to do 36 divided by 4, because it will take us back to this. And I know that 36 divided by 4 is 9. And a way that I can check is that to then go forward. So 7 stays the same. Yeah, 9 times 4 is 36. Yeah, got it right. Okay, so give yourself a mark if you got that one. Next, I want you to have a look at the second one. Again, pause the video and have a go. If you're completely stuck, then just come back for the answer, but have a go first of all. Okay, this is easy peasy, this one actually, because we're just going forward normally. So the 3 goes across like it normally would. Then I need to work out what I times 20 by, which is going to give me this 80 at the bottom. So what do I times 20 by? Well, 4 lots of 20 give me 80. So 20 times 4 is 80. So it must be divided by 4. Again, that was probably easier than the first one because it's just straightforward. But you're working out the missing numbers. Now, the final one is a little bit more tricky, but have a think, okay? Now, for the final one, there is more than one possibility. So you might not get the same answer as me, but it's not to say your answer is wrong. So pause it and have a go. Come back either if you're really stuck or you think you've got an answer. Okay, now I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. Okay, so I know that my 2 can come over the top. Okay, so this fraction the top of my fraction must be a 2. Now I know that I need to times something together to get 5. Now, what numbers do I times together to get 5? 5 is a tricky one, and the only numbers that I can times together to get 5 is 1 and 5, or 5 and 1. Which sort of leaves me with there's only actually one way to do it. So then if I put this as 2/5 and I divide 2/5 by 1, then I've got 2 stays the same, 5 times 1 gives me 5, because there's no other way to possibly make 5, which is fine. So if you got that answer, that is right. But there's also something else we could do, which some people might have been able to work out. Now, what I can do is use my knowledge of equivalent fractions, which is why there's more than one possibility. So I could turn 2/5, and I know 2/5 is the same as 4/10. So if I times both the numerator and denominator by 2, I'd get 4/10. So really, if I think about it that way, it's exactly the same. So I could then work out what can I do to make 4/10. So the top of my fraction would then be a 4. And then I'm thinking of 2 numbers that I can times together to make 10. And the first one that comes to mind is 5 and 2. So if I do this, then I've got 4 goes over to 4. 5 times 2 equals 10. And I know that 4/10 is equivalent to 2/5 if I simplify it down. So this is also correct because we're using equivalent fractions. Some people might have spotted that. Don't worry if you just did the 2/5 divided by 1 because that was right as well. This is a problem solving, so there is more than one possibility. You can see how many possibilities you can make. Okay, so hopefully that made a bit of sense, but you just need to work maybe the opposite way. You need to think more out of the box than just doing the method. Okay, another word problem then. So we have got Daniel uses 12/15 of a roll of wrapping paper to wrap 4 equal-sized presents. So I've got 12/15 of a roll of wrapping paper. I don't know who measures their wrapping paper in fractions, but apparently Daniel does. And I'm sharing it out because I'm using it for something, and I'm wrapping 4 equal-sized presents. So the amount, I don't know where I got 4 equal-sized presents from. They must all be the same present. But the amount of paper I'm sharing out is exactly the same. So I'm sharing it equally. So we do the exact same method. So 12 stays over here on the top. Then we do 15 times 4, okay? Which is going to leave us with a big fraction. So we're going to have 12/60. Oh. Okay, now 12/60 is right. That's fine. But I can also try and simplify it down to really challenge myself, because if I said to someone 12/60 and they need to measure something out, it might take them a while to work out 12/60. So I can use my factor bugs of 12 and 60, like we have been doing, to simplify. And I need to find a common factor that I can divide them both by. If I do my factor bugs, I know that I can divide both of them by 12. Okay, so if I divide 12 by 12, I would get 1. If I divide 60 by 12, I would get 5. So 12/60 is also correct, but so is 1/5, because I can simplify it down. And saying 1/5 to someone is a lot easier than saying 12/60 in real life if they were to be measuring something. So hopefully that will make sense to you. A final challenge for you then is to work out these missing numbers. Now this one's a little bit harder, similar to the one that we just did with the boxes, and you had to maybe go backwards or work out the missing numbers. So what I want you to do is pause the video and have a go. I'm just going to tell you the answers at the end. I'm not going to explain it or how you work it out. So if you think this is too tricky for you, you can leave it and go on and start the sheet. But if you want a bit of a challenge before you start the work, you can have a go at this. So pause the video and then have a go. Okay, so check your answers then. So we should have the love heart as 10, the lightning bolt as 16, and the smiley face as 40. So well done if you got those right as a little challenge. Now you need to go on to the sheets that are in the resource bit of the website and have a go at applying these skills.